Hey, what's up, man? What's up? This your boy TJ Awesome. I'm very disturbed. I'm in a way I'm heartbroken about what the NFL decided to do in regards to their players, which makes the more sense of why players were trying to sue the NFL of the concussion protocol and the lack of being treated after they retire. Like I see why. And just now, May 24th. I go, I was at Planet Fitness and I see on the banner that any player protesting during the national anthem will be fined and the team could face a 15-yard penalty or the team could pay a fine and it's 15-yard penalty. I think it's so dumb how it I said I wasn't gonna put religion in this, but I'm gonna just use this as an example. People pick and choose what part of the Bible they want to live by, and then they condemn the other people who lives on the other side of it or lives against it. I'm sorry. That's the same way with this flag. When you want to look at the flag code, it is against the law the way that the NFL been displaying the flag. You cannot wear the flag as a pill, and it's against the law. I was told when you break the law, it's either you in jail, you pay a fine, or it's a warning to not do it again. It's one of those three. The NFL have not gotten any other of those three. Never paid a fine. It's not gonna go to jail, and not even a warning. Colin Kaepernick' original purpose of protesting was simple: social injustice and the police uh, being how they are now. I'm not gonna say untrained because they are trained when they want to. They showed it. I'm gonna keep it about the NFL. You cannot take someone's First Amendment, First Constitution Amendment rights away from them. Just like me doing this video, you cannot tell me I cannot do this unless there is a law and you take the First Amendment away, and we like North Korea or whatever, then we cannot do this and can't do that or whatever because that's what you dictate us to do. Then okay, then we gotta obey the law. I think it's real sad when you got somebody who did everything he could do to not be in service. 1 minute he tried to own the Bills, the Buffalo Bills, and the NFL told him no. But the moment that this little orange fucker gets into the office and start degrading people just because of their nationality, if you're Mexican, you're considered illegal criminals, rapists, all of this, all of that in the book. You got shithole countries. You got animals. If you're not a U.S. citizen, if you're an illegal immigrant, you are animals. We don't want these animals. You got somebody who First Amendment is using all of that. Grab him by the pussy, even though that was before he became president, but still First Amendment right. Just saying that. And nobody condemned him for saying that. But how in the fuck can you sit here and go find players for standing up for what they believe in? You know, when you grow up in the hood and you play sports, mainly for us, it's football or basketball or track. Football, basketball, track. That's what we have as far as anything that's in the hood that, in a way, constantly stay funded for us to play as we grow up and we put our kids in there. That's our way out. And then we use that to So I'm gonna take care of my mom, and then I'm gonna take care of my neighborhood. I'm gonna take care of the street that I was on. And then if I see anything injustice because I got a platform I can stand on, then now I can actually say something. They can hear me. I can be loud, you know? And when that was just when it stood out and people was getting the message, people say, well, it's hurting the bottom line. If you don't like it, get out this country. You monkey, you nigger. They say that. But the moment, like when Black Panther came out, people thought it was about the Black Panther group, but it was really a cartoon character. It was a comic book character. People was against that movie so hard that you can't hate them. Money talks. Okay? Got it. Money talk, bullshit walks. Money talks. How can somebody have such an effect on a private owned business and tell somebody, hey, you cannot do that, or you can stay your ass in the locker room? So what if I say something outside this locker room? Then what? Am I gonna get fired? What? I mean, you got basketball players getting tased. You got football players getting sent to jail for, looking like he shot somebody. You got, what's that guy from the New Orleans Saints? Like, not too long ago, he got shot. A couple of years ago, I believe. Got shot. And the guy, I need to do the research on it. I don't know if he's doing serious time or if he got away. But when you look at all the stuff that happens with us black folks, how can you get mad at us for actually standing up in a voice and having a voice? Is it because you're afraid of a strong black man, a strong black woman? Are you afraid of that? Just say, I don't like that. Just like I always felt with cops. If you have a disdain for black people, ask your boss. Just say, hey, I don't like black folks. Can I please patrol another area? If I go in the hood, I know what can happen, which you don't, but I know what can happen. I know what my actions may lead to. I don't need that situation ever coming upon me. There are a lot of black people who want to be cops but get told no. I'm one of them. Got told no. I don't mind going in the hood. You know why? I'm not afraid of my people. I'm not afraid of white folk. Not afraid of Mexicans. None of that. I believe respect is quickly earned when you can go door to door, shake their hands, and say, "Hey, look, my name is such and such. I'm going to be patrolling your areas. If you need anything, here's my card." Get to know the people. Being a cop is almost like being a mayor in a sense, to me personally. Because you got to get to know your neighborhood. You got to get to know your areas and stuff like that. So when stuff happens, and when they see you, hey, officer such and such, hey, I'm so glad you came, man. Look, these motherfuckers over here, they tripping, man. And I know you ain't trying to put nobody in jail, man, but we just need to talk. Alright, cool. That don't exist, man. It exists in small spurts around the nation, but it don't exist like the way it should. The original purpose of the police was to patrol black people, period. You know what I'm saying? Keep them under wraps. Make sure they don't do nothing stupid. Meanwhile, white people can do what the heck they want to do. Burn crosses, hang a nigga, and just whatever. And what I'm trying to put this in perspective to where I'm not making this long video, but I feel like I'm going to have to just go around the world with this. When you look at different movies, and I love using that analogies of examples of movies, like The Green Mile, Michael Clark Duncan character, wrongfully accused of killing two white girls, or I think one white girl, and clearly we knew it was a white person that did it. Everybody knew that, but he still died. Same stuff that goes on today. You know who did it, but it's easy to convict a black person because we're not educated enough. We're not going to read that book. We're not going to read the fine print. Especially back then, even though it's not a true story, it's a made up story, but it still holds some truth to it. When you look at a slavery movie, when you see the updated version of slave movies, right, like 12 Years a Slave or Roots or whatever the case may be, when I went to go see 12 Years a Slave, actually no, not even 12 Years a Slave. I only saw a little bit of it, but Birth of a Nation. I saw how uncomfortable white folks were. Like, damn, did we really do that? Like, shoot, we're so. And then I'm sorry that my ancestors did this to you. I'm sorry that my great grandmother, or whoever the case may be, father, done this to your people. Because for whatever reason, from back in the day, it's something about a strong black figure that brings about fear in white folks. And I'm not saying all white folks, just the ones that know they're afraid for no reason at all to be afraid. Like the white girl calling the police on a group of people that was barbecuing. You see, there was only one cop because the shit was stupid. And he looked at her like really, and then she started crying. Look at his action. Don't even look at the girl. Look at his action. He like, let me know when you done. That's like honestly, that's how he looked. Like he was already over and done with the situation. Like, man, I ain't gonna do nothing. There's nothing I can't do. They ain't breaking no law. Why you call me? Here's a fine for wasting my time and wasting the taxpayers' time. Money. I'm sorry. Same way with the Airbnb situation. Somebody then wave at you or didn't acknowledge you, and you feel that just because they didn't say hi or bye to you, that you flipped you came out with two stories. In one story you said, well, I know the neighbor, and I just saw people moving out and stuff, and it just looked like they was just looked suspicious. It's broad daylight. Honestly, criminals come out at nighttime. Only the brave, stupid ones come out in the daytime. But at that time, they got some type of heat on them, like a gun, and they're looking to shoot you before you even say anything. So, with that not being the case in your situation, man, why did you call the cops? Because they're black. So another guy, New York City, worked with Obama, was moving stuff into his house, his apartment. Got the cops called on him. He said he don't even feel safe in his own home. That should never, ever, ever happen. You should never feel like you can't feel safe at your own house. But because somebody called the cops, because they didn't get didn't take the time out to say, "Hi, sir. How can I help you? Are you moving in?" What we got asked that question when we was moving into our old house in Illinois. We got asked that question. Hey, how you the new neighbors? Yeah, we are. It was nice to meet you. My name is such and such. I forgot the name 10 minutes later. But they got to know us. And that's all it takes. Even where we at now. Hey, how you doing? I stay next door to you. It's nice to meet you. Cool. Get to know me. I want you to know that I'm no threat to you. I want you to know I'm not going to bring no foolishness in this neighborhood. I'm not about that life. I don't like it myself, be honest with you. I don't like having a driveway full of people coming in and out the house making all kind of noise. I don't like that. I like peace and quiet. But that's you getting to know me. And believe it or not, we might have the same views. You ever thought about that? There are some black people who don't like other black folks. Just like there are white folks who don't like other white folks. But you wouldn't know that unless you talk. But like I said, it's something about a strong black presence that brings about fear in the cowards. And especially those with power. I have a, it's things that, it's 2018. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes I ask myself, like, will my boys be ready? I have two boys. Can they handle this? Sometimes I go back and forth with it. Like, maybe they can. I hope they can. But, that's up to me as a father to make sure, I teach them that about what's going on and educate them. Like, hey, look, this how some people view you as a threat. You can say hi and you're dead. You can't even, and it's crazy. And I tell my wife this. I could be in the store. The only store I don't feel this way about is GameStop. But any clothing store, I feel like somebody's watching me. And I hate that. I hate that feeling. I feel like if I'm wearing a hoodie and I put my hands in my pocket and I see a cop down the hallway from me or outside in the bar, whatever, I don't want him to think like, oh, he stole something. Get him. So just because I'm not ready to die, I take my hands out of my pocket. Sometimes I try to take my hoodie out because I'm trying to come look at you and say, I'm not a threat. I'm not that guy. I don't fit no description. That was a story where this little kid, and it oh man, this broke my heart. This little kid, little black kid, and his mom was at a park, and it looked like it was New York, but it could be Pennsylvania, or Philly. I'm sorry. And the mom, well, the little boy wanted to go down the slide. There was a group of white kids there, and they was blocking the entryway. So at first, kids do that. Sometimes they be so caught up in their own little world that they don't see other kids trying to play too. But these kids saw this little boy trying to get up, climb up into the little place where they be standing up at to go down the slide. Little white kids told him that, "Ha, you're not white. You're not white. You're not coming up in here," something like that. And one of the little kids put their hands on the little boy. The mama was strong because I'd be damned if I let anybody. I don't care if you're a kid. You're not gonna put your hands on my child. Cause guess what? If I don't scare you, I'm gonna talk to your parents. And if your parents don't do shit about it, it's a wrap. Cause I'm gonna tell my son next time they put their hands on you, move them out the way. You go down the slide. You have fun. If they got a problem with that, I'm gonna deal with their parents. You ain't gotta worry about nobody. But anyway, so the mom took the boy away from the slide. They decided that that's gonna go to this little rocker where you go back and forth, right? Something like that. And all of a sudden, the kids go down the slide. Two little white girls come and say, and I'm still in his face and gonna say, "Ha ha, you're not white," and still put their hands on. The mom and dad, the parents, whoever of these kids didn't do nothing. I was so mad and disturbed and hurt because all I could think about is I pray that my son, my kids, don't ever have to experience that. Excuse me. Never have to experience that. You talk about social injustice, the NFL, the only person, the only team, the only one that was brave enough to say, fuck you, Trump. I don't give a damn. If my players decide to protest against this flag or whatever, or still want to exercise their freedom of speech, because he said it, I would like for them to stand, but that's just my opinion. They have their opinion. They're entitled to it. If they want to protest, let them protest. They grown. They can do what they want to do. They not hurting me. Our job is to play football, perform, win the game, get paid, move on. He said he'll take care of the fine. Owner is from the Jets. This year, I'm going so hard for the Jets. I hope they win. Make the playoffs. Make the playoffs. You know. But I'm going so hard for the Jets. Because then no other owner have the balls to sit there and say, fuck you, Trump. These are grown men. But nah, you talking about freedom of speech. Just last year, how you the president calling grown men's sons of bitches? You are the president. That's just like you supposed to be so sophisticated, so upscale. Now, that's just my perception because George Bush wasn't it, but he wasn't. If I had to pick between those two, I would go with George Bush every time. Between him and Trump, I would go with George Bush. Period. But we all know how Obama was. Great dude, very very precise with what he had to say. Didn't say anything extra. It was clear and straight to the point. when you the president of a free nation, you supposed to have you supposed to set the example of what all Americans should want to follow, you know, and they should want to just say, you know what, I'm proud of this country. I'm proud of my president. But so many people are so power hungry that they forget just because you was born privileged that those that below you don't matter. No, they matter. They the reason why you in the office. Because if it was only rich people voting, guess what? Might as well just say you have a purge. But it's the poor folks in in rural areas, um, in the hood. They got certain people in office and the position they're in. Without our votes, you know, it's just basically rich people voting for rich people. But eventually, a time will change, and I hope that the NFL look at exactly what they're doing and say, you know what, we fucked up. There won't be no penalty. You won't be fined. And when you look at, and I think I said this early in the video, you broke the law the way you displayed the flag. You cannot drape the flag side. I forgot. It's an angle or whatever. The way they do it, I'm put like that. The way the NFL does it, you're not supposed to do it. And on top of that, being a vet myself, I'm not the most patriotic individual. But it's mighty funny how those who didn't even have the balls to say, I'm going to sign up, even for one tour, one contract to serve your country. But yeah, you got the most to say. How? How can you have the most to say and you didn't do nothing for this country but other than bitch and complain about healthcare? Bitch and complain about certain people in office not doing this and taking care of the streets. You know, gas prices going up, insurance premiums going up, whatever it may be. All you did was sit there and be a keyboard warrior and just say, if you don't like it, you can get the hell out of my country. What did you do? What of this country is yours? Tell me. I'm all for it. Because I know what I did for this country. Voluntarily. I didn't run. I didn't coward. I didn't say my foot was messed up. I signed up. I went to Iraq scared as shit. I really was. So, saw things that I won't speak of on this video. But I did that. And I got proof that I did that. So all these fake patriots out there, well, don't disrespect my flag. When I go to these games, and I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be recording. If I see anybody talking, not singing, but talking, doing the national anthem, I'm gonna go ahead and just put that on blast. I'm gonna say, you know what? But you bitching and complaining about black men taking a knee. Black men and white men complain on taking the knee for social injustice. I love what Chris Long did. I'm a man. For real, he can be the spokesperson. But when you go to these events, it's only a few that you hear that will sing the song. Some people stand up and just be dead with it, like, or sometimes they just stand up, hands in pockets. They be sitting there. So, what you think about the draft the other day, or what you think about the number stocks, bonds, whatever? They be talking, doing the national anthem. But because these voices then got heard, and then you got certain kids in high schools and middle schools and elementary all taking the knee. We all know what it's for. It's about the social injustice. Kids are getting killed. Whether it ain't the police, it's the NRA, the second biggest thing out there next to the presidency. Kids are dying. like rapidly. I being a service member, heck, and correct me if I'm wrong. Put it in the comments below. But correct me if I'm wrong. When the first few people that went to Iraq and Afghanistan, and we was fighting back, at the rate that these kids are dying, it was not like that for soldiers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now there are soldiers that did die. You know, there are airmen that did die. Shipments, people, Navy shipments. I think that's what they call them. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. People that did die. Coast Guard, people that did die. But at this rate that these kids are dying in high school because they have access to a gun, how do you not see that being the reason why we protesting against social injustice in NRA? Elementary kids are sending hoods Columbine back in the 80s and 60s and 70s. You know, you can go back when high school shootings was popping off. Like, this shit ain't new, but it's old. It's old, and I'm sorry to say it in that way, but it's so old. I'm at a point where I look at the schools, right? The one thing they have the most in common, they don't have metal detectors. That's one. Two, it's a mixed school. Where, and if any, like I said, if I'm wrong, I don't mind owning up to it. I would comment and be like, hey, thanks for educating me. But I went to school in East St. Louis, Illinois, high school, middle school, and elementary school, right? In the roughest neighborhood. You think we had any fear about a school shooting? Nope. You know why? Because before you go in any of the schools, you got searched. You got to take your keys out your purse, your pocket, whatever you had, walk through metal detectors. If it didn't go off and you have a gun, you can go home. Stay one of my like my high school, right next to a convenience store. Now you would think after looking at some of these hood movies and stuff like that, that if anything was to happen, it's gonna happen at a convenience store because somebody owes somebody money or whatever the case may be. But no, went to school every day. And the only fear that we had, or these, and I know these kids have it now, is when you fight somebody in school, just know that it's coming to your neighborhood, and hopefully they don't bring a gun and shoot. Like, that's the only fear about the black community as far as like why black on black crime the way it is. It usually happens somewhere in a closed environment, and eventually it spreads out into the neighborhood, and eventually that gets out there. Cousins and aunties get involved, and then now all of a sudden it's a little war. But these mixed schools come with different personalities, different upbringings. Some kids come in that school spoiled, knowing that they can get whatever they want. Some people, some kids go into school knowing that I can get somebody to do my homework, or I can bully the nerds, the comic books, the geeks, the jocks, whatever the case may be. You got so many different personality in there that it's real easy, and I can understand why certain kids, granted, I think, let me not say death penalty, but I do think you should rot in jail for what you did. But I see why these kids are so disturbed mentally to where they feel like they need to get a gun and kill whoever they want to kill, or just go on a shooting spree. Like, I get it. And it's an easy fix, but it didn't happen to certain people, kids. I always said, and I'm a true believer in this, that until somebody from the NRA, and it's unfortunate, but this is the only way it can change, or it will change. Until somebody loses a son, grandson, granddaughter, daughter, whoever, and that's in that position that they can control or regulate or come up with a new way of getting access to a gun. Until that happens, this is gonna be the new norm. This is what's gonna happen. I don't know why a district feel like it's expensive to get metal detectors, because it's not. You got a lot of veterans. There's a meme that's out that says that if you want to protect the schools, there are a lot of veterans who want jobs, that need jobs. They will patrol the school for 8 hours. 3 or 4 vets, that's all you need. For 8 hours, patrol your aerial operation. What happened? You know why? Because now you're dealing with military tactics and game planning. You would have to outthink somebody who been there, done that. And unlike with certain cops who are afraid to go in there, most veterans ain't afraid to go and attack the shooter. Some people live off that. Some vets live off that. They like the danger. They like to be the aggressor, especially wanting to be a hero. Because unfortunately, you want to talk about the flag being being disrespected or whatever. How many veterans? How many soldiers and military personnel? Let me just say that. Let me not just say soldiers. How many military personnel come from overseas every day, every month, every year? When they come home, they get a hero's welcome. Don't worry, I'll wait. They don't. You know how I know? I done it twice. Twice. Now I got a hero's welcome. Then get into my neighborhood. Then get it from my city. Then get it from my people. Oh, you home. That was it. Glad you made it. You're not dead. Cool. That's as far as it went. And but yet, you want to say taking a knee during the national anthem is considered, disrespectful to the troops. That flag has zero anything to do with the troops. Let's think about first how that, as of late, how people are so offended by anybody that speaks Spanish, anybody that speaks German, Russian, French, Chinese, Japanese. How easily people are getting offended by people speaking their native tongue. But not once think about how when they say, you need to get out of my country, who wrote your national anthem? Think about that. If you really want to be Americanized, I mean, I'm sure there was some cool, rock and roll artists back in the day. You can ask your boy Kid Rock to write something, or AC/DC, or Queen, Metallica, whatever the case may be, whoever you want. Cause I know it ain't gonna be no black person, ain't gonna be no Hispanic individual, not gonna be an Asian descent. There's gonna be somebody white. Could be Taylor Swift. I don't know, but I think a French person did the national anthem, and then we not what was it? It's like an agreement with climate control. Believe it or not, America is a mixed breed of different people of all walks of life. You can say that about America, not just whites only. As much as white people try to make it that's what it is, it's not. I can go to Asia and know that's predominantly what it is. I can go, well, that's a whole continent. Let's say Japan. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna see. I might get lucky enough to see maybe 20 white folks, maybe 15 black people. That's not military. I might get lucky enough to see that. But majority I'm going to see Japanese folks. Same way with Africa. I know continent. Let me say Nigeria. If I go to Nigeria, I know I'm going to see predominantly black folks. I might see that 10 white people here and there. But that's about it. That is a black country. That's what it is. North America, this nation, is a group of mixed, different, talented individuals, all in this one land where you can go in and out of states, don't have to sign no type of agreement, don't have to go through custom borders or whatever to go through one state or the next. I had to pay a toll, but that's about it. But you can do that. You can't do that overseas. I can't go from, oh, you know what? I'm moving from, let's say, Kaiserslautern, Germany, and I want to move to France. You know what you got to do? You got to get a whole nother citizenship. And you got to go to custom borders and stuff. They got to look at your stuff, what you coming into this country with. That's what you got to do. But not here. But that's beyond the point. The NFL know they messed up. And I do look forward to this particular NFL season because I want to see how many people, if they decide to display the national anthem on TV every game all of a sudden, if they decide to do that, how many people you gonna see on their cell phones? How many people you gonna see standing up? How many you gonna see sitting down? If I go to a game, you know what I'm doing? Sitting down. You know why? And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna put up my veterans card. Say something to me. Say I'm disrespecting the soldiers. I'm one of them. But just because I'm black, I'm not gonna get no clout on that. But that's just what it is nowadays. We supposed to be going forward, and we're going backwards. We getting to a point where we dictating what people should say and what they should do. You might as well just abolish the First Amendment while this man is in office. Might as well just, it only applies to him. He can publicly talk about Rosie O'Donnell. He can publicly talk about, can't even think of that guy's name, but he can, call him a leak or whatever, a horrible individual. Obama never did that. Bush never did that. Clinton never did that. Reagan. I mean, you can go on and on. It's one thing to insult somebody and say, you're not doing your job, you suck at your job. That's one thing to do. Anybody can say that. But when you go and start talking about their character, start talking about their fact, and anytime somebody tell the truth about yourself, everything is fake news. I mean, eventually you got to sit there as a person who watches this, and and I'm talking about Trump, see that, be like, you know what? If it ain't something glorious about you, or somebody speaking proudly of you, everything is fake news. But the moment somebody say something good of you, yeah, it was tough, but I did that. I did that. I did that. Everything is an I. Everything is an I with him. But if the NFL don't change this and see that the bottom line, if you're not selling out your stadiums because you done put this First Amendment bullshit out there as far as people can't be or display their freedom of speech, you can have sponsorships, Papa John's, AT&T, Sprint, Bud Light, Budweiser. You can have those, but eventually, guess what? If your stadium's not selling out, they end up pulling they coming from the teams. And then guess what? Most of the time when companies pull out, they don't come back in. And then now in the NFL, now you're struggling. You're gonna be struggling for money. How you gonna pay the people who was in the NFL and got out, who retired, who did their obligation and get the retirement pay? How you gonna pay for those that's in the Hall of Fame? Because eventually you ain't gonna have no money, and then you gotta declare for bankruptcy, and then you're just gonna be another indie company, with professional athletes. It's gonna be like this arena football stuff, indoor football league. I'm sorry, where nobody never heard of it, or they have heard of it, but it's hard to see it on TV somewhere. That's what the NFL gonna be. You're already changing the rules of how people play, And a lot of people don't like that, as well. The NFL had gotten soft, and the NFL is officially now being owned by Trump, something he wanted to do from the beginning. He wants to own the NFL. Because you don't hear him talking about basketball. Can't, because you know what's going to happen with basketball? We saw it with Carmelo Anthony, saw it with LeBron James, saw it with Chris Paul, saw it with the WNBA. When the guy from New York, when he couldn't breathe. The owners knew not to say, "Now you can't wear them shirts." They knew they couldn't say anything. Cause guess what? Prime example with the Clippers. When he said his racial stuff, he got fired. Because when your team stop playing, and all of a sudden, it don't look bad on the players. It's gonna look bad on the owner. And then you get voted out. Now you ain't got no job. And now forever, ever, until you die, you went from being this particular person people perceived you as to now you're just a racist. Who wants to have that when on their last leg of life with all their money? You still feel like you should hang out with those people. Those people. And that's cool. That's cool. We're gonna be those people. I think it's about time for us as consumers of the product that pays into this product, whether it's the NFL, MLB, basketball, whatever. Since we want to go backwards, how about this? What would happen if there was a Negro League baseball? What would happen? What more talent would you see in that case? Would that make the MLB that much better? Because now all of a sudden, yeah, you see Dominican Republic people, the Dominicans are playing baseball, and they are playing great baseball. Same way with the Mexican community in Japan. Outplaying most of these players in the MLB, which is, it's a mixed sport. But we know originally it was a white boy sport. But now all of a sudden, getting outplayed. But they don't want that. They want the face of the franchise to be white. What's wrong with that? Now, Andrew McCutchen, he was the face of Pittsburgh Pirates. But before then, who could you say was the face of the Pirates? Don't worry, I'll wait. We know who it was with the A's back in the day, the early 90s. Same way with the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Florida Mariners, the Yankees. Go on and on and on. They want that one white boy to be the face. Same way with NFL. With the exception of Baltimore, with Ray Lewis, he was the face of the franchise. But as far as the face of the NFL, it's always been a quarterback. And for the last 15 plus years, been Tom Brady. Before then, you can say it was Steve Young, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Starback, I think that's his name, Bledsoe. Notice, all white boys. Regardless of what Emmitt Smith did, regardless of what Jerry Rice did, regardless of what Deion Sanders did, Lawrence Taylor, Refrigerator Perry, Aaron Moore, regardless of what they did, they was never the face of the NFL. It was always a white boy who was. And I'm saying all of that to say this. If, and I'm, watch how I tie this in, just like with the video games, especially with the sports games. If the Madden had another company, another football company, and that product was just that much superior and better just because on the talent alone, not because of the name. The name could be corny. And I'm going to use WWE XFL, for example. Let's say the XFL face of the franchise is The Rock, right? It's a black man. And he's saying, oh, you can talk trash. You can lay the smack down. You can play football. You don't have to stand. You can sit down. You can do what you want with the national anthem. You can stay in the locker room. It's your freedom. It's your freedom to do what you want. Matter of fact, we'll put it like this. We're not going to even play the national anthem. We just going to play football. When you come and you buy a ticket, the game start at 7, that's what it is. It might be a pre-show game as far as like give you entertainment before the game to get you pumped up and riled up. But once that's over with, it's time for the game. That's how it should be. You know? If Madden had that competition, Madden would change. Same with NFL. They had the competition, it'll change. That's why there is no other company better than the NBA. There is no FIBA is not better than the NBA. Overseas basketball is not better than the NBA. That's why they number one. But the NFL, that's why they got so many. CFL. Next year is the XFL. I think it's next year or maybe 2020. But you got that coming. You got the Arena Football League, Indoor Football League, and hell, even some flag football. If you can catch it online when they randomly pop up, um, is better. When you can actually just play the game the way it's supposed to be played. No being patriotic, just straight up, time to play, hour and a half, and then we go home. But I don't know. I just I'm disappointed with what they decided to do, and I do hope before September come that they change this and say, you know what, it didn't we didn't receive positive feedback like we thought we would. We lost even more money because of it, and we're no longer going to enforce that. If they say that and apologize, I'm back on board. But for right now, I'll be a Jets fan. I would. I know in my heart of hearts they ain't gonna win no championship. But you know what? I like what the owner said that and he was honest. I would like for them to stand, but it's their right, their freedom of speech, first constitutional right to do uh to have freedom of speech. I mean, their constitutional rights to do that. Nope. Got a lot of cowards in the NFL. And eventually, they're going to have to answer to that. Because what you telling everybody with the overwhelming uh, results of people not liking Trump, the one man that y'all said, no, we're not going to let you buy the bills. We're not giving you ownership. You letting the one person y'all said no ultimately end up still not only just owning one team in the NFL, but he owns all 31, except for the Jets. But he owns 31 of you guys. Y'all some motherfucking bitches. Now take that and live with it. You let somebody who gives two shits about you at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he can care less about you. Gonna tell you how to run your company. How was his company? How was his school? Was it not a fraud? Did he not file for bankruptcy a lot of times? I'm just saying. Did he not lose the popular vote? We know how he got in there. And we see how they changed that rule real quick. The popular vote will win the election next time. It won't be just electoral college. So, a lot of people that was in office because of him about to be out of a job. You want that in the NFL? Do you really want that? You want to be out of a job? But that's on y'all though. Y'all got it. I'm just a fan for now. But not long. Can't let this guy in office worry about one company when he can't fix the job that he promised to be in the United States. But y'all pick and choose what you want to remember and what you think majority of people are saying. And ultimately, I think this is just the beginning